Madhavi spoke to you from a more, I think, structured point of view, but I'm really going to talk to you from an artistic point of view because I'm just an artist and a choreographer, and that's that. And I think that's a gift that I have. So you'll hear a lot about why we do what we do. You'll see a lot of crossover as well between both of our talks because we do share work together. So I'm a Bharatanatyam dancer and choreographer, and my talk today is called Dance, a Silent Language, because I truly feel that movement can communicate to all walks of life without using words. Like math, dance is universal. It is a language of expression. Our art originated hundreds of years ago and was practiced by Devadasis, who were special women dedicated to the service of Hindu temples. These women were highly respected because they were a synthesis point of all Indian arts. They were well versed in dance, music, poetry, philosophy, fashion, but most of all, nonverbal communication. Their special skill was manodharma, or improvisation, which allowed them to communicate with a wide variety of audiences, be the gods of the temple, priests, temple devotees, kings, or other artists. Drawing from that tradition, I feel an urgency to create work that speaks to diverse audiences and deals with issues pertaining to this day and age. I draw inspiration from life and people. I truly believe we're all dancing, even if we don't realize it. Our breath is like raga or melody. Our pulse is like tala or rhythm. Our movement is like nritta or dance. Our speech is like abhinaya or expression. And these happen to be the hallmarks of our dance form, Bharatanatyam. Some of the themes that I've used in my work and I want to share with you today are education, social change, and environmental awareness. I often perform and teach in schools across the DC metro area. These engagements are so important to me because they allow Indian arts to spread to children who may not even know what or where India is. It is a strong tool for fostering cultural awareness. These sessions allow the students to participate and use their bodies as a mode of expression. Oftentimes, I give them a small exercise like the one I'm about to try with you all. So I want you to not use anything but your face, and I'm going to give you an emotion, and I just want you to act it out silently, okay? So let's try doing sad. How about angry? Exactly. So these expressions are really the life of what we do. And as you can see in a lot of the pictures, the kids right there are following me, we use gestural hand movements. So if we were going to say sad, we could use mushti like this and say sad. If we were going to do angry, we could show anger like this. Or mushti again to say angry, or you, which is suchi. So we have a codified language, almost like the sign language of today, that is thousands of years old, and that's how we communicate. But really, these gestures are meaningless without the feeling or the bhava. Sometimes I even ask the students to come up with an idea or a sentence, and I act it out for them. So I'd like you all to maybe think of a sentence, and I'll pick one person, and I can act it out for you. So I'll give you a couple seconds. It can be simple. Please make it simple. I'm just kidding. Yes?
I don't know how to dance.
I don't know how to dance. Okay. For this, I'll take my shoes off because we dance barefoot. So. And obviously that's very, like, we call it lokadharmi, which is like down to earth, but it can also be very stylized, where it's more sophisticated in a sense. And it depends on your audience, like I was saying, that you talk to. If you talk to children, you have to communicate a very different way. Or I could say, which becomes a little more stylized, so. This teaches the children how using this silent dance language and the gestural vocabulary that comes with it, that they can get in touch with feelings that maybe cannot be explained by words. Whether they become dancers or not, these are powerful tools that can be used to support emotional well-being. And often I use mythology and storytelling to pass on morals and lessons, like the story of Kalia, and you can see him right here. And I'd like to point out this was actually drawn by one of our dancers. And like the Devadasis, most people in our company are multi-talented and multi-dimensional artists, not just dancers. And the same woman who drew this, Ramya, she's also a singer, a composer, an artist, and a dancer. So it's really part of our tradition to be multifaceted. Kalia, the thousand-headed snake, pollutes the Yamuna River, making the water poisonous to all the other life. Little Krishna, the blue god, subdues the snake by dancing on its head. This is not a wild story just about a small boy dancing on a monster, but it's really about no matter how small you are, you can conquer your demons and challenges. And I also truly believe it talks about lessons of sharing. I have created evening-length works that have been performed for public audiences. One such piece, Amba Shikhandi, A Journey of Courage, deals with gender and power. This work uses a story from the epic Mahabharata to highlight a seemingly insignificant character, Amba. A woman who is different and bold, Amba stops at nothing to find justice for her cause. She is so pivotal as she starts and ends the epic. Without her, there would be no Mahabharata, yet she's marginalized and almost forgotten. She has to take on a man's body to succeed in the story. I think this work really stresses acceptance and respect. No matter who you are or what your gender or creed is, the one thing that unites us all is a common human spirit. It is resilient and eternal. The most current work that I'm working on in choreography brings art and science together through Fish Eyes, which we've now plugged twice, is on May 25th. And if you could all come, I'm sure you would really see how we're pushing the boundaries of our dance form, but also paying lots of respect to the wealth that it has in this production. This piece is about ocean awareness and conservation. It was funded by the National Academy Keck Initiatives program and the Boston Foundation because of its importance and relevance. It was challenging to translate science into dance and urge viewers to make a change about the sad state of our oceans. Now we learn how to do birds and bees in Bharatanatyam, but we really don't know how to do octopus or kelp. So that was a challenge for me. And this is where I pushed myself to see how I could imagine and visualize these things in my style. The slides that I have up right now for you are of ocean creatures and how we have embodied them and they'll appear in the work. That's a coral and a crab, right? She's the crab. And using cloth to kind of create a film, which is the ocean. And that's a coral, which is Madhavi, right here. And this is a jellyfish. This is a pufferfish. And all of this still falls within the classicism of our dance. And octopus and crabs. The piece starts with an amazing water cycle dance, and I'd like to share a small clip with you about that. One second while I pull it up. As the horizon consumes the light of day, darkness spreads. flashes of lightning and roaring thunder announce the descendants of cool raindrops. That's lightning. The sound of thunder as the rain comes down. Thank you. Not only does this piece talk about the water cycle and how the ocean is ever bountiful, but it deals with problems we are actually facing today. One of the biggest ones being plastic. I wanted to show how plastic has established itself and grown to great heights, almost like mankind and civilization has. So I started with the atom, and we have a small clip of a dance about the atom. So electrons, which you're all probably very aware of, orbit a nucleus and create the atom. Atoms link together, forming molecules. Molecules bond, forming polymers. Plastics are polymers. The next short clip is what I call the polymer dance. This piece imagines each dancer as a link in a chain of a synthetic plastic polymer. How these strong and unbreakable bonds are now infecting our oceans. Okay, I don't need to zoom into that, but that's our last slide for you today. But my last statement is that I truly believe that this project has taught me so much that I didn't realize that movement could teach. I thought it would be a challenge of how I would, as an artist, teach about science, but really it was how science could lend itself to art and be a source of information, but truly it was the art that was speaking through the whole process. So in that, I learned so much about how powerful what I do is and how it's really just a tool to communicate really anything that I wanted it to. Just like the Devadasis who had to communicate to any situation at the snap of a finger. And my last closing statement is that artists have a great platform to make change and improvement through their work, and we should use it. I hope sharing some of my inspirations and reasons for dance making has connected with all of you. I wish I could have communicated with you today through my dance and not through my words, which is an irony. For I feel that when I dance, I am truly my truest self. I hope this talk gives you a small insight into why dance is so important to changing the world. Thank you.